Few things change faster than agriculture and technology. At the 14th Annual People's Land Investment Expo in Des Moines, speakers focused on new trends and what realities farmers could face in the not-so-distant future. Robert Saik, professional agricultural consultant, entrepreneur, and author, presented on what a changing agriculture system could look like moving forward.
To find the quality of people necessary to run these $500,000 or $1 million machines that's a rare air, and so we're facing this labor crunch, particularly in high produce type of, which are highly driven by humans. That's a real pinch point. For broadacre farming, we're going to move towards robotics. It's not a question of if, it's just a question of when, because we've got to take our brightest people and have them managing robots rather than sitting in a glass cage.
While changing technologies will certainly influence the future of farming, Saik says the consumer will have a lot to do with how agriculture will continue to adapt in the coming decades.
I don't think as agriculture, as mainstream agriculture, I don't think we do a good enough job explaining to the consumer what we do and why we do it. Glyphosate, the more glyphosate we use, it actually reduces the footprint, because we're using less active ingredient per acre than we did with atrazine. And yet the consumer doesn't understand that. She just thinks that GMOs are bad, because we haven't done a good job of communicating that.
Perhaps no better example exists than COVID-19 and how consumers are increasingly noticing the importance of the food supply chain. Saik says the pandemic presents an opportunity to capitalize on consumers now more engaged with our food systems.
And I think COVID has actually brought that kind of to a head, because consumers are starting to realize that the food supply chain is quite important. And agriculture has done a remarkable job during this pandemic of actually meeting the needs of feeding the nation, feeding North America. I think that's a kudo. And we should use this opportunity, actually. We have a window right now, because people are concerned about food and making sure they have enough. And when they go to the grocery store, do they have the selection that they want? And we should be using this time to say, we do a good job, and here's what we do, and here's how we do it, and here's why we do it.
Saik argues that as long as humans exist, agriculture will need to be infinitely sustainable. He offers what he believes will be the 3 biggest things consumers will judge farmers on in the near future when it comes to sustainability.
So when you ask a city person, what does agriculture sustainability mean to you? It really comes down to, I think, 3 main issues, which is soil health, water use efficiency, and greenhouse gas balance. In other words, how do we sequester carbon? How do we reduce methane and nitrous oxide? The 4th one is really critical, which is farm viability, because without farm viability, you don't have any sustainability. So farms have to make money. They have to be viable. If they're making money, then they can start thinking about infinite sustainability. So that's the way I look at it.